Hi, my beauties. So, I'm got another order with Temu. It's really easy to do because it's so inexpensive. I'm planning a get ready with me, and I'm going to do my very best to keep the time down. Those that have watched my other ones before, you know I have a problem with my time. I just can't help it. Everything's got to be perfect, that kind of thing. And that can get a little nerve-wracking. I did find my eyebrow thing so we can try it. And what I'm getting right now, hopefully, well, where on earth did I put them? Oh no. My little under the eye, oh, I just didn't take them out of the bag. That's all. And I did find my, how is this open? My brain's sticking, sorry guys. I did find my, a small thing of eyelash glue. Been a bit shaky, so I don't know if I will be steady enough to put them on. Kind of need a sturdy hand for that, so we will see. And hopefully we don't get interrupted by the storms, which is fun because Jared and I are supposed to take care of an errand, and storms may interfere with that because currently my daughter is in a shelter in place kind of thing. Pardon me guys, that's a little better. She works for an eye doctor, and she works in the lab, so they're all huddled in the lab. So it's like, nice. So I told her, keep me posted and stay safe and ride it out. Okay, so I already took the adhesive backing thingy off. And what you do with these is you want to get it close to the eye, but not in your eye. And then when you're old, you kind of got to stretch things out. That's one. And then see, it has, you just pull that off. And they're split so that you can get it easy. I prefer just taking it completely off. My hair did not want to cooperate. So I have all kinds of flyaways. And it looks like my daughter just texted me saying that we're going to get even worse than what she's getting. She's a little further west. Yay. Pardon me. Extraordinarily dry. Okay, so one of the first things that I typically do, if I can get it out of here, is put a little bit of the concealer around my eyelid. It just helps with, a little bit. It helps with the eyeshadow going on and also staying on. Or at least that's what I have found. And again, we're using all Temu with the exception of my mascara. And the reason for that, it's not that, you know, I didn't want to try their mascara. I just have some and I don't want to have a bunch that I will end up having to throw away because it got too old, kind of a thing. And I even have another high-end that is kind of waiting in the wings to get used. So if you really want me to try it, I will. I know that they have one brand that I have tried before and I really liked it. So, and I want to say, excuse me, no. I want to say it was like, well, it would help if I had my double mirror on and have it close to see what I'm doing. Okay. There we go. Let's turn that light on too so I can see. I've used that mascara before, and I want to say Temu sells it for, I want to say it's like $1.50, give or take. And it is a really good mascara. They have like, you know, 3 colors and they don't differentiate between the colors. I know that they each have their own function, like, you know, lengthening or curling or waterproof. The one that I used was, see, look at all these flyaways, was the green one, which I want to say was lengthening. So we will see. Now, just getting my brushes out here where I can see and look. And I had an idea of what I can do with my other brushes that have been like sitting for far too long, is to brain is sticking a lot badly, sorry, is to wash them, spray them really good with Lysol, wash them a couple more times to get the Lysol out, and that should kill anything that could be growing. Okay, so we're going to use the more neutral palette, or at least to start off with. And then I like getting a fluffy little brush, and I generally grab on, no, we're not doing that today, a light color, which I'm going into this one right here, and I do an all over dusting. And what that does is it sets the concealer that I put on the eyeballs. So that way, when I do go in with the color, the concealer's not just grabbing it and letting it settle all in one spot. Yep, got it all. Now, everybody has their own little techniques and so forth. What I like to do is grab onto a color like this and go mainly in the crease. I'm going to pick up my devil mirror and I just go back and forth and kind of swirl in there, and it works as like a transition color. And you'll see once I get everything in there, I will lightly go back over with this color to help with blending. But I can say that I'm really impressed with how well this blends out for being as inexpensive as it is. I really did not expect it to blend so easily. I thought I was going to have to fight it a little, because I've had palettes that I've paid more for that were inexpensive, and just making sure we're even here. That I had to really fight to blend out, and I prefer not doing that. Okay. I can't find my color changer either, so I'm just using a paper towel to kind of brush off. Then what I do is I come in with a slightly darker, because that's the one that I was using. This one's a little bit darker. And that I hit just in the crease. And that's just to put a little depth already there. And if I was doing something with, you know, really light colors, I probably wouldn't do this as much. Just because, you know, you don't want to drown out the light colors, but we're not doing light colors. All right, so time to switch the game up. And I'm going to switch to this brush right here. I'm trying to figure out exactly what I wanted to do. And whether or not to go color or do more of a neutral. Let's see. Looking at my shirt to see, make sure nothing will clash. Decisions. You know, it's been a while since I've done a blue, and a lot of people shy away from it. It's all in a matter of how you do. So we're going to go with this blue, and that is going to go in the crease. And what I do, whether it's right or wrong, and personally, I'm under the belief that there's really no wrong way to do it. Because I think makeup is kind of like art. It's what you want to do, and you can be taught, you know, guidelines and things like that, but no one can really teach you creativity. That is within you. And, you know, but do try to stay within your own lines. That's helpful. And hard to do when you're dealing with wrinkles and your eyes are starting to get a little hooded over. And that's why when I come into the crease like this, once I've done that, I make sure that I'm doing with my eyes open, and I go just a hair above. And what that does for me is kind of an illusion with the hood. It kind of makes that not so noticeable. And on the far edge, I tend to take that up a little bit higher than I do on the inside part. And I'll show you what I mean here in just a second. Kind of tapering it in as you go toward the nose. It was a little cold this morning, so I turned the little space heater on and forgot that I did not turn it off, and it just kicked on. And this is where I get hung up, because I like the color to be even, and you know, I know we're going to blend it out, but I still want that starting point. So this is what I'm talking about, where I have the line and then I bring it up just a little bit so that when I go to put something on the lid, which I'll do a light color, it will pick that up. Looking at my time, we're already kind of getting into some length, so I will be right back when I do the other eye. Okay, so without thinking, I hit the off button instead of the pause button. So hopefully when I run this through the editor that I don't really know how to use, it's not too bad, and I apologize. It's been a while. Okay, so I've knocked a lot of the blue off. I know it looks blue. That's because, well, blue stains. What we're going to do next, or at least what I decided to do next, we're going to experiment a little bit. I'm going to go in with this periwinkle kind of color on the lid. And then I'm also going to hit it with this kind of like a copper gold. And then we're also going to put this as kind of like a eyeliner. Especially with the way I've been kind of a little bit shaky. And I don't know why, but I am. But I'm going to come in, same type of brush that I was using, just a little bit smaller. And I'm going to grab that. Some of the blue, which I'm glad I decided to do what I'm doing, because apparently this will transfer to your lids very easily. So, and the periwinkle has kind of got like a little sparkle to it, but not too much. And I know they say someone my age shouldn't do that. Oh well. Again, to me, this is kind of like an artwork. You do you. And as long as you are comfortable in your skin, well, it doesn't really matter. It took me a long time to get to that space in my life, but okay. So now I'm coming over with that like bronzy kind of gold. And I like to experiment. And I learned that when I was 16, when in high school, we were doing kind of like a spirit week. And our class colors were blue and gold, even though school colors were purple and gold. And so it was, you know, do your class colors. So I did like a blue and yellow kind of eyeshadow, and it came out so pretty. I was like, huh, who knew? And it's a lot of what I used to do as a kid was just at night, I would put some makeup on and just experiment with what I wanted to do. All right, we got a little heavy-handed on the one side. So we're just gonna even that up a little bit and see if that blue will kind of transfer into it some. All right, I'm going back to the one that I used the blue on for that kind of black. And then I'm just gonna come in and lightly above the lash line, come in and line it just a little. And the only reason that I am blowing on the brush, you do pick up quite a bit of dust with this, because again, you know, we're not talking Anastasia, Marc Jacobs, or, you know, Tom Ford, any of those, Charlotte Tilbury, and all that. So you do, and I just don't want this to get where I don't want it to be. All right, here's where we got to stretch so that I can give it the appearance of a little bit of the cat eye. And come a little higher up. And it looks like I'm making a muddy mess. So we might need to fix that, but it's all good. It will work. And then again, just right above that lash line. And you don't have to do this in a black. You can use any color, and I've done that. I've done some real pretty purples like this. And I will probably do on the bottom a mix of that blue and gold. And see okay. Well, that one didn't come out so muddy. I think the lighting's just slightly better to my left. Okay. Now, I'm going to grab just a little flat brush, and I'm just going to grab probably something close to this white or a combination of the one under it that's slightly darker. We're going to come in. No. A little bit darker. They're hearing my son get up. He works late into the night. So if I had to guess, without being able to see the time, I would say it's probably somewhere around 2. So he doesn't get to bed till probably, I think this morning he went to bed around 7 or 8 o'clock in the morning. So, you know, he sleeps in late, and I don't blame him. Okay, so we've got a little bit of highlight going. So now I'm going to grab the lighter color that I used earlier to start. And we're just going to come in and start blending that out. Knock as much color off of that as possible. Come back in and take that edge off. And now you can see, hopefully, the difference in doing that. Knock some of that color off again. Come back in. I am all over the place today. That's what I'm saying. I don't think I'll be able to do the eyelashes this time because I'm just too shaky. And I don't believe it's my glucose level, but anything's possible. If I didn't eat this morning, that would be different, but I did. And I'm pretty good with keeping my glucose fairly level. Well, this eye's wanting to give me all kinds of grief. The problems of being right-handed. I can do it with my left, but not well. Okay. And in doing that, we kind of knocked well, where'd you go? There's only 13. There it is. Like there's only 13 brushes. It's not like true disappearing. So I'm going to pick up a little more of that periwinkle and dust that back over. Knock the color off and grab that bronzy gold because it took my shine away. I just had a thought go through my head from watching Moana, the crab, and the song Shiny. It is currently playing in my head. I will do that. Something will happen, and then suddenly we have a song playing. All right. Now, because my skin is thin, I've had these, oh, not so bad this time. Last time I did this, I thought, oh no. Yeah, this one's doing it some. Maybe it's the direction I'm doing it in. Probably. That didn't. But you can see where that would have been all around my eye if I didn't have those. You can also use just plain tape. Okay. Just need to do a little bit of cleanup where I didn't have it. This time I will pause. Be right back. Okay. So, they're doing a lot of stuff outside. So that's got my babies in a tizzy. Shh. All right, so we're going to, I usually use at least 1 to 2 pumps of the primer, but make sure you emulsify it really good and start with your problem areas, like the nose, the lip. More or less, what I subscribe to is the inside out with it. And so the heavier concentrations of the primer is kind of in this area where the pores are much larger and noticeable. Okay, so now we're going to come in, and like I said, I'm still working out of the cap because in transport it did. And what I'm going to attempt to do is do one side first and show you how well, even though this says concealer, how it works as a foundation. One of the first things I do is I get under the eye really good. Then I start blending, and I have a little there. And the only prep that I did with this was washing my face and putting my hyaluronic acid and then my moisturizer. I'm not used to doing half a face. And like I said, this will kind of settle into those fine lines. I have not found anything that doesn't do that to some extent. This does not do it a whole lot. And now what I do is I come up and really get the edges blended in, because you don't want this mask. Or at least I don't. Okay. Well, my 11s are rather deep nowadays. but you can see how well it does. And you know, I've always had problems with the hyperpigmentation, trying to get that covered. This seems to do a good job with that. So now we're going to come in and do the other half. And like I said, I come in and get under the eye first, and I kind of follow the same trick that I do with the primer, inside out. So that way, easier to blend. And this blends out very nicely. I probably should have used a little more moisturizer today. I seem to be particularly dry. As summer comes, I will need to get a darker shade. But I won't look this ghostly the entire time, I promise. Because we are going to get color into the face. I promise. Promise, promise, promise. All right, so I'm going to come in with the periwinkle first, because that's the same that I did. And I come in under the eyelash. And I get a thin line going. And with the way that I do my eyes, it comes down some, so I always join it. And honestly, I'm thinking, because it's not going to be so bright once I put mascara on, so I'm thinking of keeping just the periwinkle. I think that's what I'm going to do. And other side. And I know a lot say never do the entire eye, you know, the do's and don'ts. And for the better part, those are some really good guidelines, but they don't really apply to me very well. Never have. You know what? I am going to do a little in the inner corner of my eye. Just going to use a little pokey kind of brush. And I'm going to use this one right here because it's got some shiny to it. I'm just a little bit in there. You don't want a whole lot. Some do, some don't. And I just take my finger and kind of give it a little blend out. And then I don't use much shiny on my face, I'll be honest. But I do like doing the Cupid's bow and then just under the lip, just to give it a little, look at me. Okay. It's truth time, boys and girls. This is the eyebrow thing. You can see how it has like the little, let me get that closer, little like things so you can do the brush strokes. Never done it on the eyebrows. I did it on my hand a little bit to test it, but let's just see. And the color that I got was a gray brown, because I didn't want anything super dark. It doesn't twist at all. But I know, kind of liking it. What I just saw in the camera looked a little reddish. It really isn't. So I don't know why. Pardon me. I had an alarm set because I thought I might take a nap. I did not. I decided to do this. This is very easy to use. Probably the easiest eyebrow thing that I have used. Now, I did get a little bit, that came off easy enough. Got a little bit too far down here. Now, they kind of bring the hairs over. I used to get laughed at in high school because I would brush the hair up and then just lightly curve it down. And that was it. That was very easy. Now for a little bit of color in my face, that would be nice. Okay. And I just kind of take both colors. Now, one thing I learned is kind of come from the outside inward. And I kind of puff my cheeks up a little bit like that so that I can kind of guide where I'm wanting to place this. Then I just do kind of a all over. That's that. Then for just a little bit of setting powder. I don't do a whole lot because I am dry, I am old, but I just want to set it just a little bit. So that it's not like, you know, kind of transferry onto things. Then you should see the mess I'm making all over my table. The setting spray. And like I said, this has got a powerful sprayer. So it kind of just gets you. Okay. It does have a fragrance, but that goes away really fast. And then where did I put my mascara? Because apparently I didn't put it with everything else. So it looks like I might have to pause you. Grab it. I didn't use the concealer palette that I got again. I'm gonna have to do that next time. Be right back. Okay, so I went ahead and looked at the time and decided to do my mascara and lips off camera. For those of you curious, Paragon MD mascara is what I'm using. It's actually the No Mascara mascara. And I wanted to show you something. I almost forgot. I always do my bottom lashes before I do my top because, excuse me, no! So that you don't have too much of this. I said no. But in order to fix that, you let it dry. And then take your nail. Yeah, I didn't get the other side. And making sure nothing on the top. And just kind of glide it, and you can see it took care of it. When you do it when it's wet, you're just going to smear it. And it's going to make much more of a mess, which nobody wants to see. So I'm, like I said, trying to cut down the size of my videos because my sister's all the time telling me, no one wants to see a video that long. I do have an order coming in from Temu. Should be here possibly sometime next week, maybe the beginning of the next after that. And sorry, making sure I didn't have any on my teeth. Of which I have a good variety in with that order of items that you can get from Temu. Because my goal is to have them notice me and finally sponsor me. I will link my Temu haul to this video, hopefully. I can figure out how to do that much. I'm not very technologically advanced. I did want to show you. Let me pull this down just a little bit. This is a shirt that I got from them. Is that not so cute? My husband's not a big fan of it, but I'm like, look at his eyes. How can you not like that? Anyway. Everything that I've gotten so far, I'm crooked. Let's fix that, sorry. Everything that I've gotten from them so far, I've been impressed with. Between the jewelry, the shirts that I did get, the makeup, you know, you saw how easy it went on, how easy it blended. And I wish that I was sponsored so that I could give you a discount code. I don't have that yet. All I can do is advise you to look at some of the ones that are sponsored. They will have those codes for you. You get like 30% off of your first order. Okay, it's the first order only. After that, they have all kinds of incentives and discounts that they do once you've started ordering. They have free shipping, free returns for 3 months, but I believe that's per order. So if you got a couple of things you want to send back, do it in one order so that you can get that benefit of the free shipping for it. Although I don't think you'll really be using that much, because I honestly don't have anything that I've gotten so far that I care to return. Even the shirts that don't quite fit the way I want them to, they will eventually. So, I really like them. They're good quality. They're not the really cheap material or anything, because I've gotten clothing like that. I would advise paying attention when you hit the size guide. It'll tell you if it's got give or no give. Anything that doesn't have any give, you really want to pay very close attention to the measurements and so forth. So, I would really give them a try. And on that note, no, my babies are hearing everything outside, because when it rains, it amplifies all the noises and they just go berserk. Drive me insane. It's going to be a fun day. So, go check them out at Temu.com and happy shopping. And I will see you guys again later. Thank you for sticking around with me. Bye, my beauties.